Welcome, Valpo fans, to another edition of the Valpo Coaches Show brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. I'm Aaron Levitt. Joining me today is the head coach of the Valpo swimming program, Maggie Kroemer. Coach Kroemer, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Aaron.
It's been an impressive start, to say the least, to the season for the Beacons in the pool. You guys swept a dual meet from Eastern Illinois, had a strong performance at Purdue at the Indiana Intercollegiates. Last weekend, you sweep Southern Indiana, and then the women also beat Evansville for the first time since 1983. I've lost track, I think, of how many top 10 times you guys have had already. I think something like 30, 35 top 10 times between the men and the women. Just some general thoughts from you to start with on the impressive beginning to this season.
I'm really happy with how the team's doing so far. They've had great attitudes. They've bought into what we've been doing in training, and that's paid off at our competition so far. A lot of really impressive swims from our freshmen and transfers, as well as our returners. We've had two school records so far, which is, I don't think we've had that, in October for who knows how long. Um, so we're also ranked pretty well in the conference right now. We have some swimmers that are ranked pretty well in the conference, which is great for this early in the season.
We mentioned a lot of impressive newcomers. We'll touch on a few of those individuals in a bit, but can you
Mhm.
kind of talk about how this group of freshmen overall came together and then how they've meshed with your returnees?
Yeah, well, I've tried to recruit people this year that one are going to be successful academically at Valpo. We have a lot of people that are engineers in the physician assistant program in the business school and some other challenging majors. So that's part of the reason why they're attracted to Valpo is because of our great academics here. But we're also looking for people that can contribute positively to the team, people that could potentially improve a lot. And a lot of our incoming people have already improved tremendously in their short time here. We have a couple of people that have the ability to make finals at conference, and people have already gotten school records. So I'm really happy with how that recruiting class is working out so far.
Kind of a case of a rising tide lifting all ships, where you've got this group of fast newcomers, and it really helps push the returnees along and gets them to go faster as well.
Yeah, we've definitely had some epic races in practice. The newcomers, they came in, in shape, ready to race right away, and that's pushed our returners. And they've had definitely some fast races in practice, and they're swimming faster in practice than what they've done in previous years. I think that competition just makes everyone better on the team.
Want to look at a few of the standout early season performances. Going back to the opening meet of the year, Caleb Smesko was named MVC Freshman of the Week after sweeping the backstroke events at EIU and moving into the top 10 in both events. He's since moved up to second in program history already in the 50 and the 100 back, already third in the 200 back as well. What were your expectations for Caleb coming into his freshman year, and how have you seen him produce so far?
Yeah, he improved a lot his senior year of high school. He had a great summer of racing. Had some really fast swims at the USA Swimming Futures meet this summer. So I knew he was going to come in and be a great swimmer for us. He's been working hard in practice. His underwater is really great. He has great technique in his backstroke. He's always wants to swim backstroke in practice, even if the rest of the team's doing freestyle. He always asks, "Hey, can I do backstroke on this?" So he's been great, and you know, he's been doing really well so far, and I can't wait to see how much more he improves this year.
Ahead 1 week after that opening meet, you're at Purdue, in a standout performance by Audrey Morgan in the 200 free, where she smashed the previous program record by 1.25 seconds. Honestly, a time that had me doing a triple take looking at the results. Can you talk about that swim in particular, and then Audrey's performance so far this year generally?
Yeah, she swam that race really well. Her splits were, the perfect way you want to race a 200 free. Good opening split. The second, third, fourth, 50s were even split. So she swam that really well. She's been doing a good job in practice, and racing other people in practice and things. But, I'm not surprised that she broke the school record. I am surprised that she broke it this early in the season. Her best time in high school is a 153, and so it's impressive that she already beat that time this early in the season. And I'm looking forward to see what she does, the rest of the year in that event.
You mentioned earlier, it's unusual to see school records fall in these early season meets in October. You had one by Audrey at Purdue, and then last Saturday you had another record set, Gabe Corcoran edging out the previous program record in the men's 500 free. Can you talk about that swim and Gabe's performance early on here in his collegiate career?
Yeah, Gabe's been doing really well in practice. You know, in the distance practice that day before the meet at IUI, we were doing some broken 500s. He was swimming really fast and going really fast. So I knew he was going to have a great swim at that meet. I wasn't expecting him to drop 10 seconds from his previous best time and break the school record. So that was a pleasant surprise to see. But, he attacked that race. He swam it strong, came back really well at the end. Great use of his kick and his legs at the back half of that. So, I expect him to be able to continue to improve a lot throughout this year.
Weekend you're away from competition, but then back-to-back weekends with home meets. What are you looking to get out of those as you point toward your major midseason meet at the Miami Invitational in mid-November?
Yeah, well, we have some great competition lined up. Saginaw Valley, their men's team is ranked 10th in the country for Division II. Their women, I believe, is 17th in the country in D2 right now. So they're a really tough team. And then the following weekend, we have Green Bay and Butler, some people that we swim frequently, but they're always tough competition for us. So, next week, our distance people get to swim the mile. That's the first time that's going to be competed this season. So it's great that they get that chance to compete in that before our midseason invite at Miami. So I'm just kind of looking to see, people to refine their race strategy, refine some of their, technical things like their turns and their underwaters and little things with their technique to try to sharpen things up, getting ready into our Miami invite where they'll be rested more and suited up.
Meet a week from Saturday, November 1st, 2 p.m. at the Valparaiso Aquatic Center, dual meet versus Saginaw Valley State. The following Saturday, also at 2 p.m., Green Bay and Butler at the Valparaiso Aquatic Center. Coach Kroemer, thanks for joining me today. Best of luck in these upcoming meets.
Thanks for having me.
This has been the Valpo Coaches Show, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.